everyone, I'm Kaylee Mercer, and today I'm going to be talking to you about climate change that is happening all over Canada. More specifically, I'll be narrowing in on the environmental concerns, the effects on human beings, how humans have conducted climate change, how they need to step up and change Canada, and lastly, Canada's economy. Climate change is the greatest threat to the world, more than any other time in human history. Average temperatures in Canada have already increased by 1.7 degrees Celsius since 1948. Earth's warming climate is causing sea levels to rise in two different ways. First, warmer temperatures are causing glaciers and ice to melt, which then causes the sea levels to rise. Second, as ocean water warms, it expands, pushing water further up along shores. Alongside the oceans getting warmer and sea levels rising, it is forcing marine mammals to live in conditions they are not used to. Marine mammals require specific temperatures to survive in, and as the oceans warm, causes animals to migrate or forced to adapt. To add, wildlife is facing more challenges than ever before. With the loss of wetlands, sea levels rising, and diseases and invasive species, land mammals are losing homes, having to adapt to new climates, and more likely to have severe diseases. On the rise are many alarming occurrences that most people have no idea are taking place. With the effects of climate change comes different temperatures, air pressures, and a longer allergy season, which in a result is affecting human beings. According to a Canadian briefing, Canadians can expect to experience more allergies, heat stroke, respiratory illnesses like asthma, diseases like Lyme disease, as well as cardiovascular impacts from air pollution. Not only is climate change affecting people physically, but also mentally. For example, with all the wildfires that have happened across Canada, many people are suffering from mental health issues. Along with their mental health, some people are more likely to have a problematic substance abuse after disaster to help them cope with what they have lost. Although with all these problems happening, Canada can still deal with the problem. If people stand together and start looking at this as a public health emergency and treat it the way other people treat public health emergencies, the opportunity will still be there for great progress to be made. Alongside the concerns of mammals, one of the main reasons for climate change is humans. The global climate system is critical for sustaining life on Earth, but there is scientific evidence that humans have caused concentrations of greenhouse gases to rise drastically over the last 200 years. This is happening because there is an overuse of fossil fuels like oil, coal, and gas. Burning these fuels are adding greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, trapping heat, and evidently warming the planet. Unless fossil fuels are reduced, it is expected that more frequent heat waves will occur, which will increase illnesses like asthma and death, more extreme weather conditions such as storms and floods, the loss of species, and altered agricultural patterns. By reducing CO2 emissions over the coming decade, nations like Canada can help prevent unnecessary loss of life and reduce human suffering. Since humans have been the main cause of climate change, they need to be the ones to step up and protect the Earth. Based on scientific evidence, the Earth is warming fast and becoming unstable due to humans burning fossil fuels. Record-breaking wildfires and hurricanes and experienced extreme storms, droughts, and floods have already been recognized. It is evident that if fossil fuel burning behaviors are not dealt with before further damage has been done, it will result in crop failures, suffering, and starvation. Furthermore, if humans do not hit the required fossil fuel reduction targets of 75% in all developed countries by 2025, it will eventually precipitate the extinction of as much as 70 to 90% of humanity. In order to manage global warming, the average temperatures need to stop rising. This can only be done by reducing the amount of greenhouse gases from burning fossil fuels. The soon unavoidable consequences of climate change has now become a threat to all nations. Additionally, Canada's economy is taking a huge hit from climate change, including more frequent droughts, forest fires, and carbon tax-induced inflation. The effects so far are relatively small but will become more severe over the longer term. Federal government-sponsored research estimates that annual costs that the Canadian economy will be up to $21 billion to $43 billion within 4 decades. Climate change is already having a significant effect on the property and casualty insurance industry. More frequent extreme weather events have increased the level of weather-related insurance claims for floods, forest fires, and other events, globally and locally. Canadian insurers are now having to deal with claims on natural catastrophes such as floods, forest fires, and other extreme weather occurrences of approximately $1 billion annually. This amount has grown significantly from previous decades and will continue to rise as more damage is done. Although the economy will continue to worsen, there are ways to help the economy and reduce climate change. They involve protecting and restoring ecosystems, promoting green energy, and supporting small agricultural producers. If these changes were to be made, it would not only help the economy but also decrease the chances of climate change from continuously worsening. Climate change is becoming more severe every single year, and most people do not realize the enormous problems that are coming with it. It is wiping out habitats, forcing animals to relocate, increasing temperatures drastically, and most of all, affecting the well being of humans. If people were to take action today by doing as little as walking instead of driving, only using items that are decomposable, and using less of the fossil fuels, it would make the world we live in today a much safer and climate change free environment. So, what are you going to do to help? Have you started helping the environment you live in?